Hello everyone. Last time we talked about how the era of living to 100 has become a reality. Today, we will delve deeper into the next stage, the theme of change is beginning to happen. Many people say, the world will change like this in the future, but that's not actually the case. Change is happening not in the future, but right now, in this moment. Although we may not feel it, the social structure, job environment, family forms, and lifestyles are all changing rapidly. Now let's take a closer look at what specific changes are occurring and how seniors should respond to these changes, one by one. The population structure is changing completely. First, the biggest change is the population structure. Our society is rapidly transitioning to a structure where the youth population is decreasing, while the elderly population is increasing explosively. What was it like in the past? There were enough working people, or the economically active population, to support the entire society comfortably. Since there were many young people, a lot of taxes were collected, and with that money, social welfare was provided and pensions were paid. But now, the situation has completely reversed. The working age population is decreasing, while the elderly population is rapidly increasing. What does this mean? It's simple. It means that the entire welfare system, pension system, and job structure need to be rebuilt. So what has come out of this is a social structure where seniors have to work longer. This has become a necessity, not a choice. Why is that? There are two main reasons. First, it's for economic reasons. If you retire at 60, you have to live for another 30 or 40 years. However, it's difficult to sustain this long period with just pensions or savings. With rising prices, medical expenses, and living costs, you ultimately have to keep working. Secondly, it's because life expectancy has increased. These days, people in their 60s and 70s are much healthier and more active compared to previous generations. Even at 70, they go hiking, exercise, and travel. They are physically capable of working. So society has come to need these individuals. In other words, the increase in social activities among the elderly has now become a social trend. In the past, retirement was the end of life, but now it is not. Retirement is the starting point of a second life. The era of multiple careers in life has begun. So, what specific opportunities are there? The most important concept is multiple careers in life. What is multiple careers? In farming, it's called multiple cropping, when you plant crops several times on the same land. Life is no different. We are in an era where people experience multiple careers instead of living their whole lives in one job. For example, let's say you worked at a company for 30 years and retired at 55 or 60. In the past, that would have been the end. But now, it's different. You can start a second career after retirement. What kind of careers are possible? Instructor or consultant. It's about using the experiences and know-how accumulated over a lifetime to teach or advise juniors. Talent-based activities. It's about making a profit by utilizing one's skills in cooking, crafts, writing, photography, etc. Community jobs. There are increasing opportunities based on the community, such as village activists, welfare assistants, and environmental volunteers. freelancers, and gig workers. As the platform economy develops, opportunities to work freely, regardless of age, are increasing. What's important is that these jobs are actually more advantageous for middle-aged and older people. This is because qualities like experience, reliability, and patience are much stronger than those of the younger generation. So, a second career in life has become a necessity rather than a choice. After your 50s, you need to prepare for a second or even third career in advance. If you suddenly think about what to do after retirement, it will be too late. We have become a society where young people and the elderly coexist. The second major change is the shift in generational structure. Until now, our society has been centered around the younger generation. Culture, consumption, and policies have all revolved around those in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. But from now on, it will be different. The elderly population will account for 30% to 40% of the total population. If this happens, the social structure will change completely. It's no longer a society focused solely on the younger generation. It's becoming a mixed generation society. Is this a crisis? No. It's actually a new opportunity. Think about it. What do seniors have? Experience, know-how, professional skills, interpersonal relationships, and problem-solving abilities. On the other hand, what stands out in the younger generation? Their ability to utilize technology, sense of the latest trends, and proficiency in using digital tools. What happens when these two meet? An incredible synergy is created. For example, when the experience of seniors combines with the technological skills of the younger generation, new business models can emerge. In fact, these days, there are many startups where seniors and young people are starting businesses together. Another example is the mentoring relationship. Seniors become mentors for younger employees, and conversely, younger employees teach seniors digital skills. This mutual learning structure is becoming more widespread. So now we need to move from a confrontation of youth versus old age to a collaboration of youth, old age. This is the direction in which society will move forward. Change is quiet, but powerful. There is an important point here. Change comes quietly, but its impact is incredibly powerful. What this means is that we suddenly feel like the world has changed one day. Oh, when did this happen, we wonder. But in reality, changes have been happening slowly and gradually over a very long time. We just didn't notice it. Let me give you an example. Think about smartphones. When the iPhone first came out in 2007, it was just a fascinating gadget. But what about now? We can't live a single day without our smartphones, can we? I do banking, shopping, reservations, and even hospital visits on my smartphone. This change didn't happen suddenly. It has been a slow process for over 10 years. And at some point, I realized, wow, the world has completely changed. Similarly, the demographic changes, job changes, and technological changes happening now are the same. It's currently progressing quietly, but in 5 or 10 years, it will come as a tremendous change. So if we don't prepare now, it will be too late when that change reaches its peak. When the time comes, saying, "Oh, I should have prepared too," will leave you with fewer options. Flexibility is the most important competitive advantage. So how should we respond to these changes? The key is just one thing: flexibility. What does it mean to be flexible? It's simple. It refers to the attitude of accepting, adapting to, and learning new things. Let me explain it in more detail. First, don't be afraid to learn new technologies. These days, many seniors find things like smartphones, computers, and the internet difficult. I can't do this because I'm too old, you might think. But this is a very dangerous thought. In the future, digital technology will become essential in everyday life. Banks, hospitals, shopping, and public services are all moving online. If you can't do this, even basic living will become difficult. So starting from now, you need to learn slowly. If you learn how to watch YouTube, use KakaoTalk, and shop online, one by one, it won't be hard. The important thing is not the mindset of "I can't do it," but rather, "I can do it too." Secondly, don't reject the culture of the younger generation. There are many things that are hard to understand when you see what young people are doing these days. Trends are strange, and behaviors are strange too. But we shouldn't reject them outright as wrong. It's natural for cultures to differ when generations are different. What's important is the effort to acknowledge and understand those differences. This is how we can communicate and collaborate with the younger generation. Third, don't insist that the way we've always done things is the only right way. We used to do it this way. You hear that a lot, right? Of course, the wisdom that comes from experience is valuable. But when the world changes, the methods must change too. For example, in the past, face-to-face meetings were the norm, but now video conferences have become common. In the past, everything was paid in cash, but now we use cards or payment apps. It's natural for the way things work to change like this. Only those with flexible thinking can survive in such changes, especially in an era where one has to work for a long time even after retirement. Flexibility is the most important competitive advantage. The center of relationships is also changing. There is another important change. It is the change in the structure of relationships. What was it like in the past? It was family-centered. It was natural for children to take care of their aging parents. Economically and emotionally, the family took full responsibility. But now it has completely changed. It's an era where it's difficult to manage retirement solely with family. Why is that? Children also do not have financial leeway. Dual-income households are the norm, so there's no time. As families have become nuclear, the physical distance has also increased. So now we need other safety nets besides family. What that means is a community, neighbors, and a network of friends. In fact, these days, many elderly people live with friends or neighbors. Having relationships where you eat together, exercise, and travel greatly enhances the quality of life in old age. So from now on, it's important to expand your network of relationships. Don't just rely on your children. Make friends, join clubs, and participate in community activities. These relationships will become a great strength later on. Change does not wait for us. Now, let me summarize today's content for you. First, change has already begun and will accelerate in the future. The population structure, job environment, technology, and culture are all changing rapidly. Secondly, Seniors are not passive entities in this change. On the contrary, they need to become active agents. We must seize new opportunities, participate in society, and continue to grow. Thirdly, flexibility and adaptability are the most important competitive advantages for the future. Only those who learn new things, embrace change, and constantly adapt can live wisely in the age of 100. Finally, please remember this message. Change does not wait for us. Only those who are prepared can seize opportunities. Even at this moment, the world is changing. Preparing for 5 years or 10 years from now starts today. Today, Chapter 2, Change is Beginning, ends here. Next time, we will cover Chapter 3, The World Living with AI. I will specifically explain how seniors can adapt in the age of artificial intelligence and what benefits they can enjoy. If today's video was helpful, please like and subscribe. We support your wise retirement independence. Thank you.